To this now, many civil society organizations say Cyril Ramaphosa should use his second term as ANC president to tackle corruption and bring an end to load shedding. Now, he's been very vocal in the past about the damage that corruption has dealt to the country's economy. And now that he's set to continue to lead the ANC on a so-called renewal path, many South Africans can only hope that the governing party will keep its promises. But is he the right man to improve the lives of ordinary South Africans? Let's continue with reaction for you now and bring in the national coordinator of the Right to Know campaign. That's Verushka Memdutt, who's live to us via our video link this morning. Great to see you, Verushka. Thanks very much. Verushka, I beg your pardon. Thanks very much indeed for speaking to us. So much being said, of course, as the hopes, aspirations of the country lie on the president's shoulders in the lead up to him getting the second term. I wonder whether you agree with those people who say now that Cyril Ramaphosa has been granted the second term, he's unlikely to want to appease some of his political enemies and will therefore consolidate the so-called renewal path.
Good morning to you and good morning to the viewers. You know, I think for the Right to Know campaign, as we've watched the entire few days, pass, what remained very relevant, and I'd like to take you back perhaps to, I think it was 2001, where the ANC had released a document called Through the Eye of a Needle, or Through the Eye of the Needle, something like that. And this document has a certain section in it, I think it's section 37, and it refers to the type of leader that you elect. And the person, it should be the individual, a leader should be someone that leads by example, that he should be above reproach, etc. And I think for us, what matters, or what we would look very closely at is, has the ANC been able to in fact elect leaders in line with their policy? And at this stage, there's a lot that stands to question, but us as a civil society organization have a duty to ensure that these elected leaders, all of them, all 7, in fact, don't just fill a space. We don't need just warm bodies. What we need is active politicians who deliver for the people. And I think when I'm saying deliver, there are many issues that we as an organization have been working together with other organizations and formations to say, this is what is required in our country. It's going to take great political will, because much of that has been absent throughout many of the efforts in our view, because it seems as though, the huge rate of unemployment, the poor service delivery, the high rate of corruption, even the electricity crisis at this stage. To some extent, some citizens even feel as though it's selective and on and off switch in certain areas, And this, for us, is a lot of work. And we know that going forward, Right to Know campaign has got a very relevant role and an important role to play in mobilizing civil society. And I think our advantage is that we work with communities on the ground, we work with organizations, so the impact we would make as an organization from here going forth is large, and hence it has to be well consulted. And I know no doubt that it would be effective.
Sure.
I do hope I am.
There is, I think it's safe to say, great angst in the population around the future of this country because perhaps of our recent past. In fact, there are many even within the ANC who believe that the party has run out of ideas when it comes to how to solve some of these ancient old issues. How confident are you that this is the top 7 to be able to turn that around?
So, I cannot say I'm confident, but what I am going to say is that we as an organization are going to make them work. We have not elected them. They've been elected by their party. They've been put in place. The ANC have continuously, they refer to policy and formulation of policies. commissions, etc. Our duty is to ensure that we hold them to account. And as an organization and together with our partners, we are committed to doing that. So in terms of challenging this new top 7, as it is, we are going to be there, right there on their heels. There's no doubt about it. We do know, I think 3 of the leaders mentioned, elected, have been mentioned in the Zondo report. For us, that is a concern as well, and we'll be watching very closely to see how the president implements the recommendations. Further to that is the issue of ethical leadership. Right to Know campaign has made a call previously with regard to the office of the president. And even in saying that, we're going to be watching very closely to see how this unfolds. And we also, no doubt, are going to have an influence in how matters unfold, because we will not be remaining silent, and we will be educating the masses. We will be running our workshops and programs to ensure that communities are capacitated to deal with not only these top 7, but all politicians throughout the country. So, yes, in terms of confidence, all I can say is that our work is cut out for us.
Yeah. Transparency has been such an important, let's call it, value principle for the Right to Know campaign. The president himself, even as he starts this new term, is facing real questions around his ability to be transparent around his own controversies, the latest being, of course, the Phala Phala issue. If you had things your way, how would he address specifically that matter as he starts this new term, if he is to show us that he also values the principle of transparency?
So, with regard to the Phala Phala issue, our organization has released a statement, and we stood and we said that the principle of ethical leadership should apply, and that the president should step aside. We do understand that the president is also a citizen, but nonetheless, what we are saying is that whilst holding the highest office in the land, there has got to be that degree of, morality attached to the office. And what the president decides to do, or how he allows for it to take place, to move forward, is his choice. But no doubt, it's not going to go unwatched by movements as ours. So the Phala Phala issue in itself has several questions around it. But I think, considering all of that, the most important thing to look at is the Constitution, and also the issue of, is the president acting in the interest of the country? Is the president acting in the interest of his office? And is the president, in fact, doing what is right as a president of a country?
Absolutely. All very important issues. We'll be looking out for your interaction with the new top 7 broadly, and Cyril Ramaphosa more specifically, throughout the next couple of years. But for now, thanks very much indeed for reacting. Verushka Memdutt is with the Right to Know campaign. In fact, she's the national coordinator with that civil society organization. Thanks once again.